Okay, this is Mr. Lebetter. I kind of wanted to show you, I'm going to do a couple of these problems on the Unit 3 review. I'm not doing them all. I'm just doing a couple. And one of the strategies that I mentioned in class is that these are the formulas that we're using. And if you look right here, number one is point slope formula. You have to have a point and you have to have a slope to fill this out. Then the next one is slope intercept form. All right. And then the next one is standard form where the X and the Y are on the same side of the equal sign and you have the number that's by itself. I put some extra ones here, like extra things you need to know, like 2 points. So if you have 2 points, you find the slope by using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that is a minus it. I don't know if you can see that or not. If you see anything that says varies directly, you need to find k, and k is the y value over the x, and the y equals kx is the actual correct equation. So whatever you get for this right here, you want to plug in for k, and it'll give you your equation. All right, so I'm not doing all these, but I'm going to do some for an example so you can kind of see how this works. All right, so what first number one, for example, says write an equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so I know I have to have my answer in this form. It has to be on this form. All right, and the way I have this set up is that really I have to have the thing above it first. So I need to put it in point slope form first. Then I can convert it into slope intercept form. So if you're looking for this, for an answer, you got to do this first. If I'm looking for standard form, then I'm going to have to do this and then do this, possibly. All right, depending on what they get. So here we go. I know that I need the slope intercept form, and I'm going to change the colors of pens. So I need to know the slope intercept form. So I'm going to find the point and the slope. All right, if you notice, the question says, here's your slope and here's your point. Well, there you go, point, slope. So I'm going to put this in here. So here's my equation, y minus y1 equals m, which represents the slope, x minus x1. All right, so I'm going to plug these in. All right, and so here I go. I might try to make this a little larger for you so you can kind of see it a little better. There, I think that's better. All right, so hopefully that's focused. All right, so here we go. I'm just focusing a little bit. All right, so my slope, my point is x1, y1. I just label those, those are easier. All right, so y1 is 2. So I'm going to go where y1 is, and I'm going to put the number 2. My slope, which represents m, is, this is my slope, m, is negative 2/3. Then x, then minus my x1 here is a negative 3. So if you notice, I have a subtract, but then I also have the negative 3 right there. All right, whenever I have double negatives, I always say I'm going to clean it up a little bit. So we're going to say y minus 2 equals a negative 2/3 x plus 3. Okay, there's my point slope form, all right? But they're asking for slope intercept form. So now I'm going to convert this guy into this. And watch how easy this really is. So I'm going to move it up here because I'm out of space on this thing. I'm going to distribute the negative 2/3 to the x. And when I do, I get negative 2/3 x. Then I'm going to multiply negative 2/3 to the positive 3. Well, remember, that's like saying negative 2/3 times 3. You put a 1 in there, multiply across, you're going to get negative 6/3. And how many times does 3 go into negative 6? And you should say negative 2. So this should be negative 2. And I'll leave it in red since that's something that we've changed. All right, the other side stays the same. All right, now, remember, we just want the slope-intercept form. In its slope-intercept form, y, I'm pointing right here, y is by itself. See how it says y equals? Well, this here has to be y equals. So ask yourself, what's being done to y? Well, it's being added, subtracted by 2. So the opposite is add 2 to both sides. These will cancel out because it's 0 pair. So you got y equals a negative 2/3 x. This is also a 0 pair. We can put plus 0 here if you want to. We don't have to. You'll see it more like this is the answer than anything. So this right here really is my answer. Y equals a negative 2/3 x. So that's how you do that one. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2, write an equation in point slope form. Okay, so that's this right here, point slope form. So we have to have a point and a slope. If you look, we are given 2 points. All right, we're not given the slope. But remember, I also said some of the extra, if you've given 2 points, you want to use this to find the slope. So I'm going to go ahead and label this x1, y1, x2, y2. And now I'm going to find the slope. So I'm going to put a little note over here, find the slope. Whenever you have 2 points, you're probably going to find a slope. So there's the equation. All right, so I'm going to use this data here and plug it in. So my y2 is 3, so it's going to be 3 minus, and my 3 minus the y1 is a 1. The x2 is 4, and it's a 2, so minus 2. Now if I say 3 minus 1, that's 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. My slope is 1. So that's my slope. Now, I need point slope. That's what it says. So now I have a slope. I need a point, and I only need 1 point. So I can pick either one of these points. You can pick this one, and I can pick that one. All right. They may look different, but at the end results, they'll still be the same. All right. So I'm going to pick this one. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My y1 here is 1. My slope, we said, is 1. My x stays x. My x1 is 2. Now, we want it in point slope form. This is point slope form, so we're actually done with this. This is my answer. That's my point slope form. All right, let's look at the next one. This one, they want in standard form. Right? Standard form, if you look over here, is the one that's number 3. So to get it in standard form, I got to put it in slope intercept form. To go from slope intercept, I got to put it in point slope form. So I need to see if I have a point and a slope. And if you look, I got a point and a slope. So I'm going to use the slope point slope form. And there it is. It's the exact same thing we have here. Now I'm going to plug in the point and the slope. All right, my point, I want to label, this is x1, this is y1. So here we go. Y minus, and it's a -3, so I want to make sure I put a little negative there. So I have 2 negatives, you see it? One's a subtract and one's a negative. My slope is -3 as well. This is my slope. My x1 is a 1. Now, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I always like clean up before I do anything else. So y plus 3 equals -3 x minus 1. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this right here just so we can kind of continue. So y plus 3 equals a -3 x minus 1. I'm going to distribute the -3 to the x. That gives me a -3x. Now, be careful here. -3 times a -1. So -3 times a -1 is a +3. So we have y plus 3 equals. All right. Remember, we're wanting in standard form. So we just got it in point slope form. That's right there. Now we're going to make it y equals. So we can move the y, distribute and get rid of the y. So here we go. We're going to distribute, which we just did. What's being done to y is being added by 3. So we're going to subtract 3 to both sides. This is 0 pair. If you look, this is +3 and -3. That makes 0. So we really don't have anything there. So we can leave it like this. But I'm going to go ahead and put +0 in here just for the point of it. All right, so this is my slope intercept form. That's right here. Now, what's the difference between slope intercept form and standard form? If you notice the equal sign, you have one side with a y and the other side's an x. But on the standard form, x and y are on the same side of the equal sign. So technically, we're just moving the x over to the other side. So we're going to look at the sign and do the opposite to both sides. So here we go. This is what we have. It's a -3x. So the opposite of -3x is +3x. And right there is my answer in standard form. All right, and every one of these are kind of the same way. So look, write an equation in slope intercept form. They give you 2 points. So slope intercept form is right here. All right. And so you have to find you're going to have to use the point slope. That means you need a slope and a point. You have given 2 points. So you have to find the slope first and then pick one of the points and then use it in here to make it become this, and you'll get your answer. All right. Same thing with this. You just kind of watch what they want what you want. So standard form. So if they want you to do standard form, that's this guy on the bottom. So you have to do these two at first. So you need to start with this and work your way down. All right, number 6, it's asking for point slope. A lot of kids will miss here. So you pick 2 points. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick. Let's say I pick this one and this one. This will be my x1. This will be my y1. This will be my x2. This will be my y2. Now, I have to come up with a slope. So I'm going to come up with a slope because I got 2 points. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so I'm going to start with my y2, which is -1, minus, that's the big subtract sign right here in the middle. All right, and then I'm going to, hang on a second. All right, sorry about that. I had a phone call. All right, so anyway, we have y2 minus y1. So we said y2 was -1. This is a subtract sign, so we have the subtract sign there. My y1 is 1 over, now my x2 value is this guy over here, so it's -1. We have a minus sign, it's always a minus sign, and then my x1 value, which is right here, is a -2. So clean it up a little bit, so -1, -1. This one's -1 plus 2. And so it looks like that's going to be -2, and -2 plus is 1. So my slope is -2. Now they want it in point slope. So that's right here. So I just need the slope and a point. Well, I found my slope. Now I can pick any point and get my answer. I can pick any one of the 3. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick this one right here just for fun. I'll pick this one. And so it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Put in this is going to be my x1. This will be my y1. So y minus the -3 equals -2, x minus 0. Distribute. So y plus 3 equals a -2x plus 0. And then I can subtract 3y to both sides, or 3. But see, I'm getting ahead of myself because all it's asking is for point slope. And this right here, after it's cleaned up, is actually the point slope. And so really, we could say this right here is the point slope, y plus 3 equals a -2, x plus 0. That's actually the point slope that we can. This is cleaned up a little bit, so we really don't want to count that one. But if I wanted to finish this and get the y-intercept, it would be y equals a -2x minus 3. But it's only asking for point slope. So make sure you kind of pay attention like I did. I got a little hurry because I'm used to just doing them all like that. But when it asks for point slope, make sure you leave it in this form, just like I did here. All right, so a couple of things I want to show you this. This right here is a graph. And I asked kids in class, how do they know what's the slope? And a lot of kids could not tell me what the slope is here. All right. I said, how do you find the slope? And a lot of kids could not tell me where the slope is. All right. So how do you find the slope? Well, they give you a line. So you could do rise over run. You could do that. But they also give you the equation. And if you remember, y equals mx plus b, m is your slope. So the number in front of x is your slope. So if I have y equals x minus 8, what's the number in front of x? Well, if you say you don't see one, how many x's do I have? Well, I have 1x, and that 1 is my slope. So if I'm thinking 1, that's rise over run, that's 1 over 1. And if you look, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So it works. So if I'm talking parallel, okay, so if my slope is 1 and I'm thinking parallel, so my old slope is 1, since my new slope is going to be parallel to it, we know the slopes are the same. So my new equation, the slope will be 1. Now there's many ways you could do this. We could actually take this point and we could do rise over run. We go up 1 over 1, put a dot, up 1 over 1, put a dot. Now we could, since it's positive, we could go down 1, which is negative, and to the left 1, which is negative, down 1 left, down 1 left, down 1 left. And then we could draw our line. And remember, we're asking for a slope-intercept form, so you just need to know the slope, which we do, and B represents your y-intercept. So this right here is your y-intercept, which crosses right here, which is 1, 2, and hopefully I probably did that. Well, hopefully I did that right. Looks like it crosses right there. All right. So let's go ahead and do the problem just for the heck of it so we can see it. All right. So y minus y1, x minus x. All right. So my first point is my points, x1, y1. So y minus 1, my slope is 1, x minus 5, distribute 1 times a negative 5 is a negative 5. Remember, add, we want the y by itself, add 1 to both sides. And if you look at this, this becomes y equals 1x minus 4. So this right here, remember, is my y-intercept. Does it look like it's at negative 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, it does look like it's at negative 4. These here, they just want you to find a slope. So use y2 minus y1. All right, right here, just want to kind of go over this real quick. It says here, what are the sketches of a graph and on? So think of this. You have a graph, it's x and y. If we want undefined, undefined is a straight line that's up and down. So you need to make sure you know this means undefined. If they want a zero slope, we talked about it in classroom, like your heart rate monitor. If you had a heart rate monitor and your heart stops, it's a flat line. So it's a flat line like this. That means there's no heart rate. So this right here is 0, like 0 heart rate. This is 0, this is my slope. All right, varies directly is the one that I was talking about before. It's the one that I have here. So if you look right here at the beginning, we have varies directly. So you're supposed to use these two guys here. And so kind of do one of these right here. So k equals y over x. My y value is 15. My x value is 9. If I reduce this by 3, that'll give me 5/3. So k equals 5 over 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in my equation. And so my equation is y over kx. And since y is 5/3, I'll put 5/3 x. Now, the second part says find y. So we don't know what y is. We do know what k is, but x is 33. So I'm going to put a 33 where there was an x. And then I just kind of multiply across. I can do that if I want to, or I can cross cancel, reduce, and that will give me y equals 55. So that's nice. Oh, sorry, I'm talking and not paying attention. So y would be 55. All right, a couple more. This right here is also varies directly. So the first thing they mention is y. The second thing they mention is x. I'm not going to do this one. I'm just going to show you this is the weight of the object of the earth. So when I say k is y over x, I know y represents the weight on earth. So this is earth. And x represents the same on the moon. So I'll say moon. So then I kind of set it that way as well. Okay, so kind of a couple of more little things. Perpendicular, don't forget perpendicular. So if you, and I'm gonna help you on this one, this is negative 2/3 is my slope. If we say it's perpendicular, remember there's two things that make perpendicular. The slopes are flipped and they're the opposite. So if I flip 2/3, it'll be 3 over 2, and the opposite of a minus is a positive. So I would use that instead with this point right here. And I would use the point slope formula because it says slope intercept. So I would use y minus y1, m over x minus x1, put my points in here, put my slope in there. All right, parallel lines, remember parallel lines are the same. So like if I said the slope, now how do I find it with an equation like this? If you have this, you have to put it in slope formula first. So you have to put it in y equals mxb. So you're going to move over, you're going to move the x over. So x is positive. So we subtract 3x to both sides. This becomes a zero pair. So 5y equals 15 minus 3x. We want the y by itself because that's really one y, and this is 5. So we divide everything by 5. The 5's cancel out. So this is 3, and this becomes a fraction, 3 over 5x. So right there is my slope. And if it's parallel, they want you to make it parallel. Then you have to come up and use this right here to get it in slope intercept form. Remember, they want an equation that's parallel, so you're going to have to use this slope in here, and then use that point. The point they gave you 2, -3 is your x1, y1. All right, a couple of things I want to kind of talk about, and then I'm going to be through. All right, so like when the papers are kind of messed up in order, so you have to be with them. So let's look at this one. These are easy questions. We shouldn't miss these. It says write an equation in slope intercept form that the line passes through 5, 2 and is parallel to the y-axis. So you're going to draw, I would highly recommend you draw an x and y-axis. Make a point 5, -2. So 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So I'm going to pretend that's the dot, put 5, -2 there. Okay. And so I'm going to draw a line, but the line has to be parallel to the y-axis. Well, my y-axis is here. So parallel means my line, my red line is going to go up and down because this line and this line are parallel. All right, now remember what I said in class. My red line, is it touching the x-axis? Yes. So that means it's going to have an x in the equation. Is my red line touching the y-axis? No. So there's no y in the equation. So where's it touching the x-axis? If you look, it's touching the x-axis at 5, and you can see it right there. That's what it's touching. So this is my answer. So I'm going to let you figure that one out, but it says perpendicular to the y-axis, so you need to know that. All right, this one we did in class. We did this exact same question. This is the one where they tell you the sandwiches are X value and the Y is the salad. So we talked about putting an X there, a Y there, and a plus sign here. They spent $24. So if you look at, there's your equation, 4X plus 3Y equals $24. So you just fill it in. What's your X value? Sandwiches. What's your Y salad? What is the total? 24. They want to know, and you can't see it because it's on the other page right here. They want to know what if a sandwich costs $3.75, how much does a salad cost? So all we do is we put in $3.75 for X. We solve this to find out. So you can't even see it, I'm sorry. You put in $3.75 for the X value and you do the math and you solve to find out what Y value is. All right. Well, anyway, I hope this helps. I just want to give you a quick review. This is what we did in class. So for those that haven't had me yet on Thursday and Friday, we are doing this and we've actually done it with the video. So I advise you to watch this very carefully. Nobody says you can't use your notes on here. I would highly recommend you using this. Write this down in the same format. Remember, if they ask for standard form, try to get these first. Actually, this one, and work your way down. If you ask for point slope, you just got to have the point and the slope. All right. Good luck to you.